Pokemon Black and White. Two amazing masterpieces that promoted the Pokemon franchise and made it even better. But were they what we thought they would be? No, they weren't. I love these games, but they aren't what I thought they would be. Here's what I want for the remake, Pokemon Gray. First, let's talk about the Pokédex. I'll admit, even though some of the Pokemon barely look like Pokemon, they did a pretty good job on them. The only thing I have an issue with is that the Unova Pokédex doesn't even have any classic Pokemon. What kind of Pokédex is complete without Pikachu? So for Pokemon Gray, we should have classic Pokemon from the previous generations. These Pokemon should be in the Unova Dex. Not that I hate games for being different, but I still would like points. Let's talk about the battles. The battle system, in my mind, was a good choice. Tropical battles and rotation battles are genius. So, why aren't they available on the Battle Subway? Also, I noticed that you can't be seen by two trainers at a time and face them in the double battle anymore, which is unfortunate, because I thought that was very fun. You can't face random trainers after you beat them. Why'd they remove the match call and the Versus Seeker? Those made it more fun to train Pokemon. As a replacement, we fight trainers in the stadiums of Nimbasa City, which is awesome, but you can only fight them once a day. I can beat all the trainers in less than a day. Bottom line, they should bring that the Versus Seeker and or the match call, so I won't be stuck with the Elite Four sometimes, because it gets stalled after a while. Granted, it is a good way to train. Let's talk about the gym leaders, starting with Silent, Chili, and Cress. The way I see it, if you choose Snivy, you face Chili's Pansear. If you chose Tepig, you face Cress's Panpour. And if you chose Oshawott, you face Silent's Pansage. So, why can't we face all three? Imagine this. You face all three of them in a triple battle, and they use Pansage, Pansear, and Panpour. Sounds like a good idea? Okay, let's talk about Lenora. She currently has a Herdier and a Watchog. Pretty good team, but she could also have a Minccino. Berg's team, I see, is composed of Whirlipede, Dwebble, and Leavanny. Good team, but maybe he should also have a Joltik. Elisa uses two Emolgas and a Zebstrika. Take out one Emolga and give her a Pikachu and an Electric. Now let's look at Clay's team. He has a Krokorok, Palpitoad, and Excadrill. It would also be nice to give him a Golett. Skyla currently has Swoobat, Unpheasant, and Swanna. Let's give her an Altaria as well. Bryson now has a Vanillish, Cryogonal, and Beartic. A Cubchoo and Glaceon would be good additions to his team. White players face Iris, and black players face Drayden. Now this time, it should depend on if you're a boy or a girl who you face. Boys face Iris, while girls face Drayden. They have Fracture, Druddigon, and Hexorus, but they should also give them a Dano and a Zweilous. Now let's talk about the Elite Four's teams. They only have 4 Pokemon instead of 5. How about they give them a 5th Pokemon? Chantel should have Gengar. Grimsley would like to have a Mandibuzz. Marshall would go good with a Hariyama. And it wouldn't hurt to give Caitlyn a Beheeyem. Then when you go to Team Plasma's Castle and face N, he has both Zekrom and Reshiram, but his Pokemon are weaker, and you have to capture Kyurem and use it to defeat him. But here Kyurem has a new form that makes it just as powerful as Zekrom and Reshiram. N's team is just like in Black and White, only he has both Zekrom and Reshiram, but he no longer has Vanillix. Ghetsis has a great team, but I think he should trade one of his Pokemon for Crobat. Which one? I have no idea because all of his Pokemon are awesome, but he should definitely keep the Hydreigon. Let's talk about the rematches. You should be able to face the gym leaders after defeating the Elite Four by talking to them in the sports gyms in Nimbasa City. Silent, Chili, and Cress should have Ludicolo, Arcanine, Stoutland, Simisage, Simisear, and Simipour. Lenora should have Chinchino, Linoon, Slacking, Snorlax, Stoutland, and Watchog. Berg should have Crushulk, Galvantula, Pinsir, Scolipede, Vespiquen, and Leavanny. Elisa should have Electros, Emolga, Magnezone, Luxray, Raichu, and Zebstrika. Clay should have Golurk, Hippowdon, Crocodile, Seismitoad, Steelix, and Excadrill. Skylar should have Altaria, Swoobat, Pidgeot, Togekiss, Unpheasant, and Swanna. It would be nice if Bryson had a Vanillix, Cloyster, Glalie, Lapras, Glaceon, Beartic. Iris and Drayden should have the following Pokemon: Garchomp, Flygon, Gyarados, Hydreigon, Kingdra, and Haxorus. Now let's talk about rematching the Elite Four. Shantos should have Miss Magus added to her team. Grimsley should have Shiftry. Marshall should have Lucario. Caitlyn should have the same team as in Black and White, only with Gardevoir instead of Bronzong. And lastly, the champion Elder. Why are people disappointed with Elder? Simple. He's gotta have the most rushed team I've ever faced. Most of his Pokemon are cool, but they're still rushed, and you can't even face him until after you upgrade your Pokédex, and he doesn't have any classic Pokemon. So this is what his team should be. Arcanine, Balfaland, Hydreigon, Scizor, Zoroark, and Volcarona. The low HP theme is awesome, but it gets in the way whenever you try to listen to another song. So we should have the option to turn it on and off. Well, that's all. I'll see you guys later.